Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a video response to my friend ClockTit. I'm going to link his original video in the video description down below so you can check it out after you watched my video. He uploaded a video recently he titled Some of My Favorite Games Which I Never Completed. And he always has these really awesome original ideas. That's what I like about his channel. He doesn't just do the same stuff everybody does. It's a lot of original content and very strange ideas sometimes. And that makes it entertaining. And I saw that and I thought to myself, whoa, I have a bunch of those. These games are going to be in no particular order, but I did separate them in 3 categories. And this first category I like to eloquently call, my god, these games are so long! Now, there's going to be a bunch of everything. I'm going to have retro stuff, new stuff, there's going to be everything. In this category we have 4 games. And there's going to be 2 Super Nintendo games. The first one is one of my... the point of this is that these are basically some of your favorite games ever. You can't just make, oh, I never finished Bayonetta 2, for example, which I never completed because I like Bayonetta 2, but I have issues with it. I wouldn't consider it one of my favorite games. But all of these are some of my favorite games ever. On Super Nintendo we have the Firemen, which never released in the United States. This is the Japanese import version because the European PAL exclusive is hella expensive. This is such a cool game. I love the concept. You play 2 firemen at a New Year's party, I think, in an office building that caught on fire. And all the enemies are flames. And there's nothing surreal. You don't have like walking jalapenos or something like that. It's just flames, and different types of flames look differently, behave differently. The bosses are massive fires that have specific patterns and move. It's so cool. It's so fun. The game looks incredible. I used to love just blowing everything away to the windows with the water hoses and stuff. But it's hard and it's long. I have no idea how far I got in this game. One of the problems is I don't read Japanese, not as well as I would like anyway, and I've never, it's not like I've been stuck, it's just really hard and it's really long and it doesn't have a save feature from what I remember, so I just never really got to the end yet, but it's definitely one I will be finishing at some point because it's so much fun. Another one of my all-time favorite Super Nintendo games, Blackhawk. Blackhawk, known in the United States as Blackthorn. I love this game. Look at this cover. So badass, so retro. And Blackhawk is a 2D game a la Prince of Persia, Another World, where you kind of walk slowly, you know, you jump on a ledge. What's so cool about this game is, first of all, there's this very demonic atmosphere. The music is incredible. This game was by Interplay, and I just like the guy with the shotgun. And you can load the shotgun and the sound effects of it. It's so cool. It's such an awesome, amazing game. This does feature a password system, but every time I get like really far and it's just so long, the game is just so long, I just stop playing it, and after a while I want to pick it up again, but I'm like, might as well just start over. And that's like a loop where you just keep starting over and over and you never finish it because of it. But I play this very regularly and I love it so much. I'll definitely finish it at some point. Then we have a 3DS game. Oh. Bravely Default. I love Bravely Default. I have 90 hours in this thing, which is why it's perfect for this category of why are you so goddamn long? It makes no sense. The worst part about Bravely Default is I love the way it looks. Graphically it's amazing. I love the 3D effect. The Bravely and Default battle system is super addictive and it works. The game is so much fun, the music, everything, but at some point you reach a moment in the game where you loop. The whole world map gets filled with all these bosses, and every time you defeat all of them, it loops over. And I think after 3 or 4 loops, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this shit. It doesn't make any sense. It ruined the game for me. Fortunately, Terrell, the Insane Game Freak, another good friend of mine, he stated like, it's the point, it's part of the gimmick, you know, it will stop and you will continue. So I recently picked this up again to continue, but the game is already so long by itself. It didn't need such a gimmick, and it just made it way longer, and it just dragged it out, and it just made me not like the game anymore because of it, and I didn't like that. So I stopped playing for like a couple of years now, and like I said, only recently I picked it up again to just hash out that loop. 2 more games in this category, and these are some of my top 10 all-time favorite NES games. And again, it's the same category. First off, we have Fakk Xanadu. Fakk Xanadu is one of the all-time greatest RPGs ever made. It has an extremely old-school fantasy vibe. I love it so much. It plays a little bit like Link's Awakening. The game is filled, I think it has a password system and everything, but it's a massive game. It's really long, there's a lot to explore, there's a lot to do, and that's the main reason why I just haven't finished it yet. And I lost my password for this, meaning I'm gonna have to start it over at some point. And I already started it over once, but it's so long, but it's an absolute masterpiece. And you saw it before, Solar Jetman, The Hunt for the Golden Warp Ship, I think it's called, Hunt for the Golden Warp Ship, Solar Jetman. One of my all-time favorite NES games. I love the music and the atmosphere. It has this really surreal alien vibe. You can see it in the artwork. It's very cool. It's very hard. It's so much fun. You have like a little ship and you move it around like 360 degrees, and it's like a gravity effect. Different planets have different gravity, and you go through these caves and you're looking for parts of the ship, you're looking for fuel, you're looking for money, and you drag it back to your main ship, to your mothership. And it's very long. I don't remember it having a password system, but it has shortcuts, which only like a couple of years ago, for the very first time, I discovered that it had that. You know, that's how you used to do it. You just discover things in video games. And it's just really long, and it's fun to play. Which is the type of game you had a lot on the NES, where it's so much fun to play, and you, as a kid, you know, you just play things over and over. You didn't often think about actually finishing something. I still want to finish it, but damn, it's hard. Then we move on to the second category. This category, I like to call it, I'm so freaking close! And this is something that always bothers me in games, where the end just gets brutal. So brutal that you stop playing it. You're like, why is this so brutal? There's no need for this to be like this hard. And there's 3 games in this category, and there's 2 NES games in there. These are the final NES games on the list, but I mean, the NES was just kind of built like that. One of the first ones is New Ghostbusters 2. This is a European exclusive, a PAL exclusive. I don't know what you guys got in the United States. You got screwed on the Ghostbusters franchise. This game looks incredible. It's a very chibi-esque vibe, but it follows the plot of the movie to a T, the second one. You can select between 4 characters and a little hidden character, so there's 5 characters. There's all the Ghostbusters, and then there's... I forgot his name! No! Whatever. The assistant, I can't think of the name right now, I don't know, or whatever. So there's 5 characters, and it follows, like I said, the movie to a T. It's already pretty hard. You control 2 Ghostbusters at the same time. One of them does the beam, and the other throws the trap. So basically when there's a ghost, you shoot it with the beam, you have to hold it, and when the beam is on the ghost, you can still move around and control the character, and then the other character, with the B button, you shoot the trap, and then the ghost is gone. The game is pretty hard already. There's only 5 levels, so it's not super long. But not only did I, in my entire life, only saw the final boss once. And I've played this game a lot. I used to play this monthly. I love it. It's so much fun. But not only did I only see the final boss once, I only saw the... I don't want to call it a mini boss, but before the final boss there's another boss. And that boss is so hard. Now, I've already only seen this boss maybe a handful of times, and I've only beaten him once. It is so hard. It is the final boss that is just unnecessarily brutal. It's not even the final boss yet. The actual final boss, I only saw him once, and I was like, okay, that's it. I'll do this another day. Then, one of my all-time favorite NES games, Wizards and Warriors 2, Iron Sword. Check out Fabio, check out my hair. I love Wizards and Warriors 2. I love the music, the atmosphere. The music is just absolutely incredible. And it's so much fun to walk around, to explore. It's a very unique kind of game with the way the character controls. Now, it's already hard finding where you have to go in this game. But every level, the difficulty multiplies. So let's say in level 1 the difficulty is at a 5. Then you go to level 2, the difficulty is at a 50, you know. Now it doesn't just go to 10, no, it goes to 50. And then you go to level 3 and the difficulty is like 200. And I've only ever managed to get as far as the final level, and that was in recent years. It's really hard, it's absolutely brutal. But I love it and I can't stop playing it. Then, the final game in this list. Why is it so freaking hard? And this game was also on Clocked's list. This is Body Harvest. For some reason as a kid I always used to say Harvest Body. I don't know why. Because Harvest is so big and Body is so small, I guess. I don't know. I love Body Harvest. This is one of the best, without a doubt, one of the best Nintendo 64 games. It is an open world Nintendo 64 games. One of the most atmospheric games out there. I love the music, the soundtracks, the sound, even the sound effects are just extremely atmospheric. You play as a guy and like Judge Dredd lookalike, and you're on a planet, and planet Earth. I think it's planet Earth in the future, like 2016. Holy shit, 2016, that was 5 years ago. I like that kind of shit always when you're so far in the future, but like we've gone past that already and we still haven't been invaded by a terrifying, menacing insect race. But anyway, so in 2016 the Earth is gone. So your character travels through time and you travel through different time periods. I think you're in Greece at some point, you're going to Java, the United States, and I think at the end you're like in the future on a comet in 2016. So there's all these worlds. Every single level is a massive map. And you walk around freely, open world, gonna have to solve riddles. And you can steal cars and planes, you can fly in these maps. It's ridiculous, the size of this game. Don't tell me N64 could not handle big games. This game is massive. And because it's so massive, the end, it just becomes harder and harder. The riddles become harder, the monsters become harder, and I think at the final level at some point, or in the, I never even reached the comet. I mean the level before that. At one point there was a section with a plane. I was never able to beat it. Near the end, I've never seen the final level of this. Then we have my favorite category. And this is a category that sometimes the guys from the podcast, they don't understand it as much. They don't understand how I play games. I like to call this category, please don't take me out of this world. There are certain games which I love so much that I start dragging out playing it because I do not want to leave these game worlds. This is just a thing I have. It is something I don't like. I need to work on that. So then sometimes I think, okay, well, let me just power through this game. But then if I start doing that, I feel like I'm missing out on just having the experience. I don't want to leave these worlds. I often don't want to finish them because I don't, you know. So anyway, there's 3 games I have in this category. One of them is Hyrule Warriors, the definitive edition. I didn't finish the story mode in this yet because I have way too much fun with the extras, like the adventure mode, the adventure maps. There's about 8 I think, adventure map for different Zelda games. There's a ton of missions and side quests on there. You can play around with like 30 characters, walk all over this map, do these missions, do these quests. The main thing I like about the Warriors games is the fighting. The fighting is fun. I want to fight a ton of enemies at the same time with ridiculous moves. So I love this game so much. It is a love letter to Zelda. All the characters are amazing, the levels are amazing, it looks gorgeous, it plays super nicely. And so I don't want to stop playing it. So I've been playing the adventure mode, like an overkill mode. And I've played this also on the Wii U, just, you know. So when I started it again over here, I got past the point where I was on the Wii U. I have so many hours in this at this point, and it's never enough, And I can't just finish the story and then do the adventure stuff, because I feel like once I finish the story, I might play it less than I am now. So I don't want to finish it. Another one, and this is also one my boy Collected had on his list, Skyrim. It's not just Skyrim, it's Skyrim and Morrowind, because both of these games do the exact same thing for me, but I don't have a physical copy for Morrowind anymore. So we have Morrowind and Skyrim. I started Skyrim on the PC. I bought the HD version because I just really wanted the HD version, because, you know, I don't really use that many mods and stuff usually. And it's the same thing with Morrowind, where these worlds are so big, so atmospheric, there's so much to do, so many side quests. And I just started playing, for example, I started playing Skyrim, the original one. And I just walk, so okay, let me go in this direction, let's see what I find. And I just see shit, do shit, and I build a character specific. I'm like, okay, this character, he's a thief, that's my character. And I'm like, okay, let me find the Thieves Guild. Every game has a Thieves Guild, so I do all the Thieves Guild stuff. So I'm way overpowered when I do story missions now. It's like I blow through them like this, so I could finish the game very easily if I want to. But I have so much fun exploring, doing all the other stuff, all the side quests, all the missions. There's so much to do, so much to see, so many people to talk to, you know. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let me just like rob this dude's house, you know, because it's fun to do in the game. I like the stealth stuff because my character's a thief, so I like doing that. And it took me over 90 hours in Skyrim before I even started the very first mission of the story mode. I was lacking basic skills, basic abilities, because I just hadn't touched it yet. Slowly I started playing it more and more. I didn't even start the war yet on the PC version, and I think I'm about 200 hours in the PC version. I don't remember exactly. It's something like that. At some point I didn't have a Steam account yet. I switched Steam account, so about 100 hours weren't taken into account when I switched my game to my own Steam account. It was kind of strange. Either way, ridiculous amount of time in the game, and I'm just having fun with it. I don't want to leave the world. I'm having fun exploring and doing all this weird stuff. And like I said, it's in Skyrim, and it's the exact same thing in Morrowind. And the final game on my list, and I always avoid spoilers. I don't like spoilers. I feel no matter who you are, no matter what you play, if at some point you want to pick up Fakk Santa, for example, this game is over 30 years old, you want to pick this up, I feel you should be allowed to stay spoiler free. There is no time limit for me on spoilers, no matter what. Spoiling things, movies, games, it makes you a dick, no matter what. If you want to talk about a game you finished, talk about it with somebody who finished the game, you know. And everybody has their own rhythm, and to me, there's no limit on spoilers, really. Some of you saw it coming. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This became one of my all-time favorite games. This is without a doubt probably one of the top 5 greatest RPGs ever made, and there's so much content in this. At one point, see, just like Skyrim, too bad my cats fucked up this site and I absolutely hate it. I have the massive collector's edition on top of it. At some point I just have to like buy a new copy of the game, I think. At some point, I was playing this game for a while already. Robert from the podcast, Robert of Gaming With Me, he started playing this and he passed me by. Once he reached the point where I was in chapter 5, he had played 30 hours of this game. and I was already at 90 hours. We don't play games the same way. I made a whole video about it. I'll link it at the end of this video. We don't play games the same way. I don't want to leave this world. I don't want to race through it to have finished it, because I enjoy this world. It's a gorgeous world. I love these characters. I want to play with all these characters. There's so many blades that you fight with. Characters, they refer to as blades. And each of these blades has their own individual story. There are so many side quests in the game. People to talk to, areas to discover. There's so much content in this game, and I enjoy it too much. And the worst part for this game, unfortunately, it is one of 3 games only, in my opinion, for me personally, where grinding is so much fun, because the battle system is so addictive, and I just can't stop playing. I have about 10 hours probably grinding for cores so I could get more of the blades in this game. I'm just diving, and I spend sometimes nights, evenings just diving into the cloud sea to pick up the chest, beat the enemies, farm cores, start doing the core thing just to get blades. I can do that for hours. I love the battle system so much, and I like fighting the enemies that come up, then going for the core. Now, I don't like the gacha system. I don't like the fact that they hid the great blades in a sea of just mediocre stuff. It makes absolutely no sense, and I hate it that they did that. That's like playing Tekken and there's 20 characters in the game, but you know, you can, there's like a default skinless random ass character, and you get that like 20 times every time you finish the game, and then one of those 20 times you get like a new character. There's no reason for these non-blades to be in the game. It makes no sense. But anyway, it was a little rant on there. It's a beautiful game. I like these characters, and the thing is, the story is insane. It is absolutely amazing, the story. It is super emotional. Get attached to all these characters, and like I said, I just start dragging it out, and I'm still playing it regularly. And even this year I want to try and finish it, but I enjoy being in this world so much. I'm just stalling to finish it, and that's really all there is to it. So, do you guys have any games that you love so much, more than anything? Like top tier, these have to be top tier games. You can't, like I said, you can't just pick like, oh, I kind of really like Breath of the Wild, but I haven't really finished it. I love Breath of the Wild. I finished it, just saying. But I didn't finish it yet. I guess I could put, no, you can't put that on your list. You have to love these games, absolutely love these games. That's what makes the list interesting. And as you saw, there's many different reasons for me why I haven't finished certain games. Either too hard, they're too long, I just don't want to leave these game worlds because it's so good. So write down in the comment section if there's any games that you love so much that you haven't finished yet, and tell me why. Subscribe to the channel if you love this content. This was a very original idea of mine that was totally not a video response to somebody else. And all my social media is in the video description. Check it out. There's a lot more content coming, a lot of gameplay coming. I have tons of ideas, like it's massive, and I'm having fun making these gaming videos. It's definitely, I feel like I definitely found a place on YouTube where I'm finally comfortable with my content and having fun with each and every video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay real. Then we move on